The customer is not always right. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to talk about customer service. Now, whenever we're talking about photography, and I know that's what you come to me for, to learn about photography, but guess what? If you're running a business, you have to learn how to satisfy your customers. But in trying to keep customers happy, that doesn't mean they're always right. Look, as a photographer, especially one that has been dealing with wedding clients for 15 years, I think we can all agree there's some unreasonable clients out there. Not only the clients are unreasonable, but their expectations are somewhat unreasonable. So how do you deal with that? We've all had that customer service nightmare. We've all had those customers who threaten to go online and put us on blast and destroy our businesses. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with it? How do you proactively deal with it in order to prevent some customer service flare-ups? Now, I personally believe 90% of all customer service issues in our industry specifically can be avoided by clear and concise communication up front. So we're going to talk about some of these issues. I'll share with you some of my stories, and hopefully that'll help you provide better service to your clients and ultimately make more money. So we have to understand, today we all live in a very competitive market. And when I say competitive, yes, sure, everybody's a photographer. But what I mean specifically is this access to information at all times. Our customers seem to think that we should always be responsive, always be on, and God forbid, 2 hours goes by and we don't respond to an email from them, right? They're threatening to light us up. And I've had many stories where, I'm not kidding you, 2-hour window goes by and they're lighting me up for being non-responsive. I get the text, I get the phone call, I get the email, like, holy smokes, I'm in a meeting, right? You've been there. You know. So we have to understand it. We don't have to like it. Maybe we don't even have to accept it, but we at least need to understand that that is what's going on out there, that there's all this access to information and there's this concept of always being on. Now, I will tell you internally, one of the ways we've come up with to avoid poor perception of poor customer service is to ensure that we respond to all emails from our clients within 4 hours. I think that's really important. Now, I'm not talking about after hours, right? If an email comes in at 6 p.m., you're done for the day. I'm not expecting you to respond by 10 p.m. If you do, kudos to you, but it's not a requirement. However, that next morning, right, let's just say 8, 9 a.m., we can't let the afternoon go by and not respond. So one of the things I train my staff on, and myself as well, I try to adhere to this, is if an email comes in late at night, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, I definitely make sure that I'm responding to that first thing in the morning. And I guess some of this video is dealing with most of us who are solopreneurs, right? We don't have a team of, 20 customer service reps sitting in a call pit handling that. It's us, we're doing it. So in the morning, get your cup of coffee, whatever your morning routine is, and just go through email and make sure you've responded to everything. That will not only give you peace of mind, it will keep your customers happy. And I just want to share with you a real story. Several years back, I got a request for a wedding. This is a true story. I got a request for a wedding and it came in at like 10 o'clock at night. I'll never forget, I responded like within 5 minutes. I happened to be on email, responded in like 5 minutes. She was blown away. I said, well, I'm not sure what you're doing right now or what time zone you're in. We can jump on a Skype call right now. Again, blew her away. This is pre-COVID. And so I have to help her install and set it up. By 11 p.m., I'm on a call with her, showing her my wedding albums, and I'm doing the best I can over this Zoom call. They end up booking us. It's a $25,000 client by the time it's all said and done. That's a true story. Not to mention, over the years, they've come back to us multiple times for family sessions. Now, is every story gonna end that way? Of course not. But my point is, I won that job because I was responsive to a customer. And I came to find out a few months after that, when we met for their engagement pictures, she goes, you're the only photographer who responded to me. I'm like, I just happened to be online. It was 10 o'clock at night. And she's like, no, at all. I'm like, what? She goes, I emailed 5 photographers before you. I mean, I tried not to be insulted by that. But she's like, I emailed 5 photographers before you. Not one responded at all. And that just blew my mind. And that's what I'm talking about, guys. Like, you've got to get in the habit of checking your spam folders. I've never understood anyone, not just photographers, who go, oh, that's in my junk. Check your junk mail, right? There's no reason for you not to check your junk mail. You know it goes there, check it, right? Can you imagine losing a paying gig because it went to junk mail? Makes no sense. In thinking about this, right, from a customer service perspective, and I know this has nothing to do with the customer always being right, but it does and it doesn't, right? Is it realistic for them to expect good service at 10 o'clock at night? Maybe not, but I gave it to them and I went above and beyond. Things like that have helped me grow my business. Now, there's several ways that you can help yourself here, especially in today's day and age. There's all sorts of tools out there for creating automation, right? And I think that's a big solution for solopreneurs who are just kind of one-off, doing it ourselves. We don't have a team of people responding to emails. And quite frankly, maybe you don't want to respond to email at 10 o'clock at night. And that's fine. There are companies like 17 Hats, which we use to ensure that we are giving our customers great service. And what 17 Hats allows you to do is create workflows, automations that will engage with your customers on your behalf. Now, it doesn't have to sound robotic. Quite frankly, an automated email will help your client feel better that somebody's at least looking into it. Now, the days used to be back in the day, right? Automation was that out-of-office autoresponder that would actually piss clients off. So that's not what this would be. You can create lead capture forms on your website, so you can have one on your wedding page, one on your senior page, one on a family page or boudoir. And when that form gets submitted, you can actually put them into an automation that responds in kind. Meaning, we don't want to send our clients a generic email when they're reaching out for a wedding and you're saying something to the effect of, thank you for reaching out about our portrait sessions, right? No. If somebody reaches out about a wedding and they hit submit on that, maybe you should put them into a communication workflow that is responding in kind. We're very excited that you've considered us for your wedding day. We're out of the office right now, but someone will get back to you in less than 24 hours. Something like that can go a long way with customer service and letting them know that you at least got that email, right? And you can do this across all niches using a tool like 17 Hats and their capture forms. Depending on what form they submit, you can drop them into a sequence to get those kinds of emails. But it gets better. That's in the beginning when you're capturing a new client. Now, that's not usually where customer service issues arise from. Most of the time, customer service issues are arising after the fact, after you photograph them, book them, something to that effect. What are a couple of scenarios that happen all the time? How about clients who book a photo session for a certain day, certain time, and then forget about it? How are you managing that? Well, we use 17 Hats and their workflows and automations to send automatic reminders to clients about their photo shoot. This is a reminder, tomorrow at noon, we have you scheduled for a 2-hour photo shoot, whatever the case may be. We can also use that for payment reminders. If they owe money, i.e. a wedding, and owing the balance of their wedding, we can send out that reminder. Hey, don't forget, balance due. You could send that out 30 days before. If they don't pay, you send them a reminder 14 days before. If they don't pay, you send them a harsh nudge 7 days before the wedding, right? These are all things that I don't want to have to wake up and remember every day. I want something handling this for me so that as a small business, I can operate in a big business sort of way. Let's take it a step further as it pertains to service. How many of you have had clients out there who become upset when wedding albums are the perfect case in point. I'm just kind of smiling here because we've all dealt with this. Thanksgiving comes, the family's together. Meanwhile, they got married back in May. You haven't heard from them since May. Now it's November. They get their family together for Thanksgiving and they finally pick their pictures for their wedding album, or they finally pick their pictures for their home, right? And you get that email the day after Thanksgiving. Hey, we finally picked our pictures. We're so excited. Can we have this album by Christmas? No, you cannot, right? Now, as a professional photographer, you already know all the labs are backlogged at that time of the year. There's no chance that that work is gonna make it out. If not, also, I should say, the labs have already sent out those emails saying that any order received after, December 1st won't be processed until the next year, right? So how do you deal with that? Do you go back to your client and go and have to tell them no? That becomes a problem, doesn't it? And so what we do is when a client places an order with us, no matter when it is, what time of year, they get an email automated from the system, right? So I'm dealing with customer service issues before they ever become a problem. And that's the trick here, is deal with them before they are an issue, not after. When it's after, you're reactionary. You're on your heels. You have to acquiesce to the client. You've got to listen to them complain. And if you don't make it right, they're not happy. So what we do is we put together an email sequence that says, thank you for placing your order. This is after the wedding, after the boudoir shoot, after the high school senior session. Thank you for placing your order. And I'm going to show this on the screen to give you a sense of what I'm talking about. Here's what to expect. If you ordered retouching, it will take this long. If you ordered a canvas, an acrylic, an album, to pick your initial design, how long will the initial design take on your album? How long will changes take? We outline this all in an email in a bulleted format, so it's super easy to read. And now clients understand what to expect. So I'm dealing with customer service proactively versus reactively. And I think a lot of you can learn from that to help you grow your business. That being said, how do you deal with other types of issues that are arising, ensure they don't become issues? So a little philosophy we've had here in our studio is never say no, right? Or never say just no. It's no, why, and offer an alternative. So a perfect case in point might be, client comes in for a wedding. We have in our wedding packages an engagement session and 8 hours of wedding coverage. And the client might say, well, we don't need an engagement session. How much? How much can you lower the price by? Well, we can't, right? In essence, that's saying no. Well, we can't. If you just say that to your client, you're creating a customer service issue. You're creating a nightmare. And so what we like to do is say, unfortunately, the way our packages are structured, the packages are already discounted significantly, so I can't lower the price on your package. No. However, here's the why coming. What I can do, and an alternative, right? Sorry, the why was because the packages are already discounted. However, here's what I can do. I can add 2 hours of additional coverage to your wedding day, which you'll more than likely need because most wedding day coverage is 8 to 10 hours of time. See? No, can't do it. The reason is the packages are already significantly discounted, right? Because we use a bundling method in our wedding packages, and here's the alternative for you. Okay, that makes sense. That's digestible for most customers. Rather than just saying no, why, or just saying no, we can't do that. Now you become combative. Now you appear to not be willing to work with somebody, and you'll lose that business, and they may go out online and still leave you a bad review. Okay, well, finally, how do we deal with people who are just unreasonable? We've all had unreasonable clients. What I find, or have found, I should say, over the course of my career is that most people who become unreasonable, I think the key word is become. It's a process that has led them there. It has led them to be unhappy. 90%, if not more of the time, it's because they feel you are not listening to them, right? So they've got a complaint, they've got a concern, but they feel like you're not listening to that complaint because why? Well, maybe you're just saying no. Maybe your policies aren't clear. Maybe you don't have automation going out. So you could have alleviated most of that beforehand. But now you're at a point where they just feel like they want to light you up. They want to go online and leave a bad review. And so what I find that we have to do here is listen. And when I listen to what customers are complaining about or upset about, I usually have a way out to make them happy. And make no mistake, if you made this mistake, right? I know we said client's not always right, but if you made the mistake, they are right. And if you made that mistake, own your mistake. And that becomes part of the problem for people is our egos get in the way. We're not willing to listen to our client. We're not even willing to accept that maybe, you know what, we could have been more clear with that communication. You know what, we did maybe leave a little bit early, or we did miss a specific shot that we could have gotten. That's on you. Own it. Make it right. Because I promise you, whatever it's gonna cost you to make it right, might be a free canvas or a free print, or maybe you reshoot them for free, not their wedding day, of course. That's gonna be less expensive than them going online and leaving you a bad review. That will actually cost you a lot of money to make that right. And that's the part you have to realize. You've got to look for a way to make it right. Now, again, I'm going to give you a real world scenario. I had a bride many years ago. She was very upset that we missed a picture. We sent her a link to her online gallery. This was way before I was doing in-person sales. I said, I hope you love them. She writes me back, like a couple hours later, and she goes, I got to be honest with you, I'm really upset. And I'm like, oh my God. I thought these pictures were amazing. She's like, I can't believe this. You missed so many shots. I'm like, holy shit, did I? And then I had to go online, look through the gallery, okay, bridal prep, groom prep, ceremony, reception, I'm making sure I got everything. I'm like, let's jump on a phone call real quick. And we get on the call and I'm like, I'm so sorry if I missed something. I'm looking through the pictures. I really can't find anything I missed. What did I miss? She's like, well, you didn't get pictures of the lattice. And there was just silence on the phone. I really thought she was fucking with me. And I didn't say lettuce. Lattice. Her mom had created, when you shoot a wedding and the waiter stations, where they're collecting plates and they put them behind at a normal wedding venue, they just actually put them out on the dance floor somewhere and they're loading up plates, right, with the trays, and then they carry the trays into the back. Well, mom felt like that was gonna be a little tacky, so she made, by hand, lattice walls to put in front of that so that the guests wouldn't see the plates piling up. She was being serious, and I did laugh at her on the call, and that did not go well because I really thought she was messing with me and she's like, I don't think this is funny. And that's when I realized she was being serious. I'm like, okay, I gotta listen to what she's saying. I said, I'm so sorry I missed those shots. I said, I have to be completely honest with you. I didn't know your mom made them or that they were meaningful to you. Now, her mom hadn't passed or anything like that. I said, but I really have to be honest with you. What would you do with those pictures if I had them? And there was silence on the phone. Right? I was challenging her, not in a way that was combative, but in a way that was genuinely curious. Are we putting this in your album? Are we gonna put a picture of a lattice wall that your mom made in the album? And she's like, well, no. I said, okay, so I am sorry I missed it, and I definitely missed it. I have to own that. But what do you need these for? My mom just was asking about them and she wanted to see them and now they're not there. And I said, no, I understand and I own that, I apologize. Can I make it up to your mom and maybe give her, a print of, the two of you on your first dance or at the altar or something like that? And she was like, you know what, you're right. We wouldn't use this anywhere. She goes, just my mom being my mom. And she goes, that would be a great gesture. I really appreciate that. No bad review, no hard feelings, everything resolved because of the way we handled that. I listened, I understood what her problem was, and added value in my response. And one of the things I like, and I came up with this when I was in corporate America on how to deal with customer service, I called it love, L-U-V. When somebody has a problem, you have to listen to the problem, understand the problem at its core, and when you respond, you better add value to that response. Don't be defensive, don't make it up, don't deflect, add value, solve that problem when you respond. And when you handle problems that way, I promise you, you will get a lot further with your customers. Now, I say that and we're gonna wrap here. We don't deal with terrorists, okay? So if you've got clients who are threatening you to leave a bad review and are demanding things that are just unreasonable and go out online and leave you a bad review, you fight fire with fire. You don't hide from that review. You attack that review so that anybody reading that review a year from now, 2 years from now, sees that you did respond, you did offer the client an alternative, and they opted not to take it. I have found dealing with customer service issues that way, 9 out of 10 times, benefits you in the business because it shows people how unrealistic somebody's expectations are. 5, 10 years ago, you would think it was disastrous to have a bad review. Today, people expect it. They see it everywhere. We travel a lot for work, and I love telling this story. I don't know how you are when you go look at reviews. I always go look at the 1 and 2 star reviews, right? The 5-star reviews, yeah, I get it. You love it. You're just gonna blow wind up everybody's ass. Great, wonderful. The 1-star review, you're probably just unreasonable as a human. You're leaving everybody, right? It's like the digital version of a Karen. Great, whatever. Look at those 2-star reviews. What are they saying, right? They weren't kind of like 1 star, but they're like, I'll give you 2. Right? We were traveling to an Airbnb, I kid you not, we were overseas, and we see this beautiful Airbnb. It's like centrally located. I think it was London at the time. We were centrally located to like everything. It had a 2-star review. So I go reading the review, what they had to say. And it was like, great property, centrally located, easy access to the tube, all the tourist locations, great restaurants in the area, but the kitchen cabinets were just too low. 2 stars. I mean, I kid you not, that's a real review. The owner responded to that in a somewhat tongue-in-cheek, which you'd expect from Brits, and it just made me and Alyssa laugh, and that lent to us booking the location with the short cabinets and all. But that's why you have to respond. And you could respond a little tongue-in-cheeky. Don't be disrespectful. Don't curse at somebody. Don't be nasty to them, but respond with authority. Respond showing people that you tried to solve this problem and it's an unrealistic expectation, and that'll go a long way for you. So hopefully this has helped you guys. I know there's a lot more detail we could probably go into in each one of these bullets I kind of outlined for you. If you put some of these steps in practice and use a tool like 17 Hats to create some automation and better customer just communication and expectation setting, your business will have incredible reviews, which will do nothing but help you grow. We'll see you in the next video.